Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Anna Marie De La Vega. This is Focus. It's a closer look at people, places, things, organizations right here in our own community who are doing great things for the people who are our neighbors. Today, we're going to talk to someone from Nashville Humane. It's Sarah Whittemore. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
You are Director of Development.
I am, yes.
What does that mean, Sarah Whittemore?
I focus on all things grant writing, working with foundations. I handle a team that handles 4 different signature fundraising events throughout the year, quarterly, and then we handle all type of monetary donations and in-kind donations that anybody wants to bring and drop off at the shelter.
What is an in-kind donation?
Yeah, so people sometimes bring us unused pet beds, unopened food, anything that they no longer have use or went out and purchased just to donate to us. We take anything like that as long as it hasn't been used or opened.
Okay, good. Yeah. And then all of the fundraisers that you do, you said one a quarter?
Yeah, we are best known for Unleashed, Dinner with Your Dog. That is where we encourage people to dress up to theme. Each year has a different dress theme.
Like, give me an example.
This past year we did Met Gala, so we were encouraging people to kind of dress up like the Met Gala and just be campy and have fun and stuff. We had some people that glued tennis balls to their dresses, and the dogs came in tuxedos and Dolly Parton-esque type outfits and everything.
Wow.
We are doing another one that is Yeepaw Country Met Gala, so we want rhinestones and rescues and stuff like that. So we really encourage people to just come and have fun at that one. We do a fashion show with the dogs and stuff that are available for adoption at the shelter. And
that's usually in February?
Yeah, it's usually in February, kind of early winter, going into spring. And then in mid-spring, kind of at the end of the school year, we have Mutt Strut, which is a 5K out at Shelby Bottoms. So we encourage everybody to bring their dogs and their families and come out and run the Greenway out there. And then fall is kind of all hectic and crazy for us. We have 2 that take place in October. We do Cause for Paws, which is kind of a ladies that lunch type event where we do a fashion show and kind of have people purchase the fashion that they see on the runway. And then our biggest one is at Centennial Park, and that is the Dog Day Festival. We kind of just let Nashville go to the dogs that day. Everybody comes out, and we have Halloween costume contests where the owners and the dogs can dress up in partner costumes and everything, and bounce houses and agility courses, and just as much fun as you can think. It is all jam-packed into like a 4-hour event in October.
I've been to it many times. You guys do a fantastic job of pulling together a lot of fun people.
Yeah.
A lot of things that would be fun to dog owners and families.
Yeah, we try to partner with a lot of small businesses for vendors and art shows and those type of things.
You do a great job of that. Okay, so Sarah Whittemore with Nashville Humane is here with us. We're talking about the fundraisers. Now, you also can just, if we wanted to, we could just donate.
Yeah, of
some
course.
money, or you said donate in kind, things that are new, but also donate some cash.
Yeah. We are more than thankful to anybody, even if it's just $1. We are a nonprofit 501c3 here in Nashville, so we rely solely on donations from our supporters and the donors and foundations and everything that take care of us. So if you go to NashvilleHumane.org, there is a pop-up that will appear on your screen, and it will ask if you want to donate, and that's how you go about it that way.
Click, click, click. Yeah. Send that money to Nashville Humane. Now, let's kind of go back to the start of what is Nashville Humane? What do you do that people need to know about?
Yeah, so Nashville Humane was founded in 1946. And to make it simple, we are an animal shelter. We take in animals from partner shelters around Nashville, around the necklace counties kind of that surround Davidson County. And then at times we do go out into other states when there are disasters or anything like what just happened in North Carolina this past fall where the hurricane kind of wiped through. We went and did transports. So wherever there's a need for animals to get out of a situation, if it's a kill shelter or the shelter is overflowing or anything like that, Nashville Humane goes out and tries to help and take in as many animals as we can possibly house. We fully vet them, so they get microchips, they get all of their vaccinations and everything. If they need a spay-neuter surgery, they go ahead and get that in our care, and then they head to our adoption floor where they hopefully find their forever homes.
So if an animal is kind of running out of time at another shelter, where they just don't have the room to house them, and Nashville Humane tries to bring them in and get them homes.
Yeah.
And you have a good rate.
We do. The past couple of years, we've been at a 99% save rate. So sometimes some animals come in and they're too sick to survive. So we kind of give them a loving space until it comes to the end of their life. But that's what that 99% is, where it's not quite to 100.
Oh, wow. Do you have a specific animal that's easier to adopt or harder to get forever homes for that maybe we want to look out for or know about?
Yeah, so there is this phenomenon where black animals are overlooked, whether it's because of their color or superstitions or anything like that. Black cats, black dogs, even if they're mostly black with a little bit of white, they tend to have a longer length of stay in shelters than other animals, of like different colored animals.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's something I did not know about until I came into sheltering about a year and a half ago. I myself own a all black dog that I adopted from Nashville Humane in 2018. Love him to death, but it's something that we do see. And so we run specials every once in a while, like around Thanksgiving, we do Black Friday. And so all animals, even if they just have the smallest bit of black, we discount their adoption rate or we waive it completely just to encourage people to consider them and to adopt them so that they find their loving homes, because they are an animal. It's a dog, it's a cat, and it's the same as the cute, fluffy, blonde dog that's sitting in the kennel next to them. They're all the same. Just because their color's different doesn't make them any more scary, I guess.
I know, just like with people.
Yeah.
We have a little black dog. She's got the brown around her eyes and things like that. Oh, she's just a little a gift. So what about animals that people are always looking for? Are there any specific things people go, I want a purebred, or I want a whatever?
Yeah, so every once in a while, we will get those purebred animals that come through our doors. We treat them the same as any other shelter animal. It's not special treatment from us. It's not anything like that.
You don't get a butler and a maid.
Yeah. So, like, we do get the doodles. We do get the German shepherds, the short-haired pointers, like anything like that. Every once in a while, they do come through our doors just because they wound up at a different shelter and they happen to come in through a transport of ours.
Yeah.
But all animals are the same to us. It doesn't matter if you are purebred or you're a mixed mutt of every breed that you can imagine. They are all the same to us. But typically they do have a little bit harder backstories if we do get those purebreds. We do quite a few disaster responses. So sometimes there's hoarding cases that we get called in to help take some of the animals. And a lot of those are coming from backyard breeders and stuff like that. So they are considered these purebred animals and these breeds, but they have had a pretty hard life when they come to us.
So they need a little extra TLC.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Nashville Humane also offers other things besides, hey, come in and adopt an animal.
Yeah. Tell
people about the other programs they can get involved with, like classes and things like that.
Yeah, so we currently partner with Dogwise Kim Iffert. She offers low-cost training classes. We try to do them once a month, maybe twice a month at the shelter. So she does everything from basics of sit and shake and stay, all the way to teaching your animal how to walk gently on a leash and heel and everything. So we want to set people up, even if they adopt from us or not. Yeah. We want to offer this option so that we are preparing the owners and the animals to live the best cohesive life that they can.
Oh, wow. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I know our little dog we had, she's an older dog and she had not really been trained. And so we had somebody come help us. Yeah. And it's made a world of difference now that we know a little better what to do.
It's a game changer. It's a life changer. Yes. I had to do it with my dog, but we were about 3 years in. So it was one of those push and pull type relationships. And then we went into training and we're both living our best life. So, and that's what we're offering animal owners and everything. So that will be on our website, NashvilleHumane.org, whenever those classes are available.
Okay. And what else is offered at Nashville Humane that people don't know about?
Yeah, we are always looking for volunteers. So if college courses require it, your work, anything like that, we are always looking for volunteers, offering volunteer hours. We do corporate groups, Girl Scouts, anything that you can imagine. We welcome them to come in. And it's everything from dog walking, bathing puppies, helping us clean up. We have a very large backyard at the shelter. And there's so many trees that drop walnuts and acorns and stuff like that. So we are constantly running around picking those up so that the dogs don't chew on them and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's random tasks that if you don't want to handle an animal, we have something that we need help at the shelter, whether it's washing the laundry, bedding, towels, anything like that. There's a task that we are looking for help, and the volunteers step in and really save us that way.
How do we get in touch with you to volunteer? At the same website?
Yeah, same website, NashvilleHumane.org, or you can reach out to volunteer@NashvilleHumane.org. And that email will put you in contact with our volunteer coordinator, and they will be able to see if you're a good fit, make sure you're the proper age. If you're 13 or under, you will have to have a chaperone that is 18 or older to be there with you while you're volunteering.
What about fostering pets?
Yeah, fostering really saves us, and it saves the animals more so than even us just bringing the intakes in and getting them out of their situations. Fostering really helps us learn about the animals. So when they're with us, they're just in their kennel. Sometimes it gets really stressed. They don't want to be in a kennel. They're kind of in a small room, and they get to go outside and have their play dates, and then they come back inside. So getting them into homes around other humans, maybe other animals, cats, children, it lets us learn about the animal so that we can better send them to a home that's the best fit for them.
Like this dog loves cats.
Yeah. That's something we don't cat test at the shelter. So if it goes to a home and they happen to have an animal that is a cat and they get along, it's like, okay, we can give this dog this attribute that it's friendly with cats. And so it just helps us learn. So our fosters really save us and really save the animals. They are a key part of sheltering.
So how long do people foster animals? I'm going to keep this one until he gets adopted, or what? How does that work?
It's up to the fosters. We kind of ask that they do at least a week so that we really can get the dog integrated into the home and really have them relax into their environment and everything. So I think as short as a week, and we have a hospice program. So we do get
hospice?
Yeah,
like hospice.
Yeah, like hospice. We get sick animals that they might have a year or 3 left in them. And so we have hospice fosters that are willing to open their home and take these animals and see them through the end of their life. So our executive director has had, her name's Pretzel. She is so perfect. She's like a French bulldog mix. But she came to the shelter when she was a couple months old, and now she's 2 years old, but she lives with Laura, our executive director, and she's in our hospice program. So she still belongs to the shelter and everything, but Laura's been fostering this animal for 2 years now of her life. So it's a really awesome program, and we are absolutely thrilled to be able to offer it, because otherwise these animals will be living out their lives in a shelter because they might not be adoptable because of whatever their heart failure or anything like that. We want to keep them comfortable and living their best life while they can.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but I bet a lot of people who foster pets end up keeping those pets. Is that possible?
It's a pretty even rate. Some people, they want to be able to keep fostering and helping. So they try their best. They fall in love with the animal, but they do allow them to go to their forever home that might not be in their home. But we do have some of those, we call them foster failures. We actually just had one this past weekend. Somebody had a long stay of ours named Bodie. We all fell in love with him. He'd been with us for about 6 months, and his foster absolutely fell head over heels in love with him, and they adopted him. So it's those that are heartwarming, because we have these long stays, and then they finally get to go to a foster home, and then you see them just absolutely open up and flourish, and become a completely different animal. And then the foster does see that and knows, like, this is my soul dog. So we do have those, but it's kind of split pretty even 50-50 of whether they foster fail or they continue to keep their home open and stuff.
Foster fail?
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Okay, so I notice also, if you're just joining us, let me recap. I'm Anna Marie, and this is Focus, and we're talking with Sarah Whittemore, the Director of Development with Nashville Humane. It's a nonprofit pet shelter, And they offer a whole lot more. Like I noticed some trick-or-treat involvement a while back.
Yeah. So for Halloween, our staff came up with a really cute idea. We kind of make these playing cards with all of the adoptable animals that are available in the shelter at that time.
Aww.
And the public can come in and kind of get all of these playing cards if they want to be able to pass these out to trick-or-treaters during Halloween, just so that it's top of mind for people when they're emptying out their candy buckets and stuff. They can see, oh, this animal's available for adoption at Nashville Humane, and then there's like a QR code for donation and to learn more about the animal and stuff on the backside. So it's just a fun little thing that we do to kind of slip these animals in that isn't social media or website or anything.
I think that's brilliant.
It's
Mommy,
fabulous.
look, I got a card for a free dog. I love that. And then you have a positive PAW, positive impact program at Nashville Humane. What is that about?
So that takes outside of the shelter, and that takes us outside of the shelter, and we try to work closely with homeless encampments and those people in our community that are seeking help, but they also own pets.
Yes.
So we try to be present in the community with that. We run a weekly food bank at the shelter, so people can come every other week and get small amounts of food to be able to continue to take care of their animal, whether they've fallen on hard times or they're out of a job currently, anything like that. We try to empower them to still be able to keep their animal in the home.
Oh my gosh.
Rather than having to surrender them. So our positive impact program caters to that. We want to focus on helping pet owners keep their pets. We provide low-cost vaccine clinics where we partner with the Banfield Charitable Foundation. They provide a grant funding to us so that we can go ahead and provide extremely low-cost vaccine clinics. We do microchip clinics, anything that is kind of outside of the realm of typical wellness checks for animals. That's what these clinics are, and it's all to empower the pet owners if they can't afford standard veterinary care. That's what this is.
Yeah.
So positive impact program really plays into that. We have a fund for domestic violence if somebody needs to access a shelter or anything like that, and they need help paying a down payment or anything that falls into that realm. This program also covers that.
Oh,
so
my
we're really
gosh.
reaching outside of the shelter walls with this program.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Pet care, pet food, pet meds.
Yes.
They're so expensive.
They are.
And so if you're struggling already, or if you're experiencing homelessness, you don't have a job, whatever the situation is, that is just more pain on top of that.
Yeah. So this program exists to provide temporary assistance to those pet owners so that we are keeping them in the home with their owners rather than them turning to surrendering or dumping or anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep my dog for a while.
Yeah.
I understand that. Since I mentioned the pet meds, what about animal care? Do you help people know what to do, or what is animal care about at Nashville Humane?
So animal care, that means that's what we call the staff members that are in the shelter that are hands-on. They keep our shelter afloat. Basically, they are there early in the morning, waking the animals up, feeding them, cleaning the kennels, taking them out for play dates, making sure they get their time outside for walks if there's not enough volunteers there that day. They are hands-on with the animals. They know these animals the best out of any other staff team member. So animal care is really the rock of sheltering at any shelter. They might have different names at other shelters, but at NHA, it is our animal care team that takes care of those animals.
Are they trained? Do they have to go to school specifically for that?
No, but every staff member that is at Nashville Humane has a fear-free training. It's a way that we make sure the animals are being handled with care, but we are also being safe. We are safely handling these animals. We have learned their body language cues. We've learned everything that falls into that realm, kind of like what Kim teaches with DogWise. We have taken it a next step further so that we know body language cues from dogs. If they have wide eyes, they might be a little fearful, or if they're panting. Some people think animals are happy when they're panting, but it might be stress. So it's stuff like that. We all go through that basic level of training so that we can keep ourselves safe, we can keep the animals safe, and everybody stays happy.
Yes. Do you remember enough right now, just offhand? I know you probably weren't ready for this. Like, could you give us a few signs that animals show us and we don't maybe know what that means?
Sure. So with my own animal, he was a very reactive dog when I first got him. And so there were cues that I was missing. The very easiest thing to look for is when an animal is excited or heightened. That hair that goes along the back of their spine, we call them hackles, those will stand up. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're angry, but they are heightened. They are alerted to something. So if you ever see your animal do that when they're like greeting another animal, and then they step away, they'll shake. And we call that they're shaking off the stress. So that's something that is just easy to notice and see. If you see them, they might not even have their hackles raised, but if they have a interaction with another animal and they walk away, they'll shake. It's shaking off the stress. It's shaking off that interaction. So that's just something that I learned when I first joined that kind of has stuck with me. They're shaking off the stress, shaking off that interaction, and kind of resetting. So
we're training our dog to, like, she wants to sit on the back of the couch in the window, and she's very reactive. And tell people what reactive means to start with.
Yeah, so some people take reactive as a negative connotation, but in the animal world, if we say an animal's reactive, they're just excited to see another animal. They might start barking if they see another dog or a squirrel or anything like that, whether it's face-to-face or through a window or outside when they're separated from it. So reactive just means they are having a reaction to what they're seeing. It's not necessarily they're mean or aggressive or anything like that. They're just reacting to what they're seeing. But to put a label on it, they are reactive because not all animals have that same reaction when they see something.
They're like, nah. Yeah. Okay. So Finny is very reactive, and she sits on the back of the couch and looks out the window. So we're having to train her because we had the dog counselor, Dean Miller, talk to us and show us that, okay, we've set her up to think she is defending the place. And if we go, stop barking, she thinks, oh, they're barking too. Yeah. I'm doing the right thing and I'm leading them, and I've scared that mailman away. And so he showed us that we have to like get her attention. Like I use it like a record. I put it in front of her face to block her view, and it gets her attention, and she gets down off the couch. And then when I go, relax, I've got it. This is mine. Relax. And I do my hand out toward her, and then she looks at me, and then she shakes it off. Yeah. And that's what I'll tell her. Good, shake it off. I didn't realize that was like in everything that dogs do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Other things that they do to shake off that stress, maybe, or show that they are stressed, like she trembles a little bit.
Yeah, so some dogs tremble, some dogs shake. My dog, he has like a really expressive face, and so he'll be panting, and some people think he's happy. He's so happy. He's outside. He's happy. But sometimes that pant, they will get two little folds kind of right under their eyes, and that kind of, at least my dog does, it lets me know that's a stress pant or he's anxious. So it's kind of different, and you usually can tell whether they're tight, their muscles are tight, versus they're panting because they've been running and they're kind of loose body, still wiggly and stuff. So there's different pieces that build together so you can tell what your dog is thinking or what they're feeling, just based off of how they're holding themselves and how their eyes look or anything like that.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's Kim at Dogwise.
Yeah.
Could possibly teach us more about that. And then what to do, because that means if our dog is there huffing or panting or whatever, then she could say, okay, here's what this means, and here's what you do to help relieve their stress.
Yes, definitely.
I need to come through that because I think all dog owners should come through some sort of a dog training course. Really, it's a people training course.
Yes. Yeah. And I always say any dog training or animal training you're going into, you're training yourself.
Yes.
Because it starts with you. And so Kim is very good. She works with all of our shelter animals, not just teaching these classes out for the public. Yeah. She works with all of our animals and kind of sets up behavioral notes for our animal care and our vet staff and our just team in general to be able to go and see, okay, this animal needs this. And so we know how to best approach this animal and how to set them up for success.
Like what? What would be something that this animal needs this?
Yeah, so if we have what we just said was a reactive animal, we know how to redirect their attention, whether they're treat motivated or toy motivated. So those are like the most basic notes that we will get. This animal wants treats over toys, or they want toys over treats. And so we know when we go to interact with this animal, we need to have that arsenal of either toys or treats with us to be able to keep them focused and learning how to sit or know how to walk on a leash. So we are setting them up for success with our interaction, but then other interactions that they're going to have possibly into their adopted home.
Whoa, that's beautiful. Yeah. I love that. Do you have stories about adoptions or about some of the pets that have maybe stuck with you for years that you could share with our listeners? Because we want you to know how important the work of Nashville Humane is in our society, in our community, and in the lives of pets and in the lives of pet owners. We want people to get that. So is there something you can share with me, since you've been Sarah Whittemore, the Director of Development at Nashville Humane?
Yeah, it still sticks with me to this day. We got Jovi about a year ago now, in early 2024, maybe 2023. But she was this very shy little Australian shepherd, like a miniature Australian shepherd. And she was very special. She had something called a bifid nose. She had two noses, and they formed a little heart. She was the cutest thing you could ever imagine. But because of that, she also had a cleft palate and all of these other kind of internal medical issues. And so she came to us in dire need of all these surgeries kind of to correct her cleft palate, because that cleft palate had a hole in the roof of her mouth. So she was struggling to eat, and just all of these things that you can imagine. She had those issues.
Oh, bless her.
But she really stuck with me because she was just the absolute sweetest animal I have ever met. Still to this day, she's my crush. Her family adopted her in January, I think, of this past year. And she is just thriving. They send updates for us all the time. She's living down in Franklin and just living her absolute best life. She gets to go on beach trips and just all this different trips and just living the life of luxury, basically. But it was amazing to see her go through our program. And she was so nervous and scared when we first got her. And then she started to learn to trust the staff and know that we were there to help her. We weren't trying to harm her.
Yeah.
And then she got her first round of surgeries, and she just became a social butterfly after that, because she was feeling better and knew that we were there to help her finally. And it was just an amazing growth that we saw from this dog. And then she finally, after a couple of months in our foster program, recovering from all of her surgeries and going through PT and everything, she got adopted, and now she's been in a home for almost a year. And I think of her basically every single day when I walk through and see all the other faces at the shelter. She really changed my perspective on sheltering and how we help these animals and everything.
So she's like your child who graduated.
Yeah.
And moved away.
Yeah, I feel like a kindergarten teacher, and now she's off in college, and like she's graduating and doing stuff. Like, I just seeing those updates and her progress reports from her family, it makes me so happy. But we get that with all the animals. We have a private Facebook group where the alumni can join. So the owners that have adopted NHA alumni, they can join this Facebook page. And so it's the best when they're giving us updates on these animals, especially the long stays that we have, just seeing them absolutely flourishing and thriving in their new life. It's amazing.
So if we want to do something to help support Nashville Humane, what do we do? Volunteer, even signing up for these dog-wise training classes. That is a big thing. You're not only helping us because some of the proceeds get donated to us, but you're really helping us push our mission out into the community. You are becoming a responsible pet owner. You are helping get the word out to others, most likely. So signing up for those training classes is a big thing. Attending our 4 signature events, Unleashed, Mutt Strut, Dog Day, Cause for Paws, that helps us because those are fundraisers. So the money that we raise goes straight back to our shelter. And then the biggest thing, we are huge. It's something people don't think about, but we really get the most benefit when people include us in their planned giving. So like end of life planning, wills, bequests, estates, anything like that. If you write NHA in, it comes to us after your passing. So it's something you do in your 40s or whenever you decide to write your will, and then you just don't have to think about it. And so when you pass, you are still helping NHA. So if that's a mission you believe in, shelters, rescues, anything like that, consider writing us into your end-of-life plan giving. I think that is something that people don't want to think about for the most part, but when they do, and to think that I can help other people, I can leave a legacy of helping Nashville Humane. I can leave a legacy of helping this organization. I think that makes it easier. I think it makes it better, and it gives people goals to work toward. I need to make more money, or I need to get it together so I have more to leave for these people.
Definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
good. Is there anything else you'd like to let our listeners know that I've neglected to ask?
I just want to thank everybody. We have so many supporters throughout the community, people that attend our events, people that drop off those food donations and bed donations. Every little bit goes such a long way in helping us further our mission, further our life-saving mission, basically.
It is life-saving.
We just want to thank everybody. That's all I have to say.
Oh, you're wonderful. That is Sarah Whittemore, the Director of Development with Nashville Humane. If you want to learn more, we're going to put some links on our Focus Facebook page. And, of course, you can go to NashvilleHumane.org and get all the details, find out how you can get involved, or maybe how you can get your next four-legged family member. Thank you for listening. Make sure you join us again next week. I'm Anna Marie, and that's Focus.